Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing good. Now, today I've got a very special guest to chat about that crazy, chaotic game. Apologies as well on the delay, guys. I had technical difficulties, but today I'm joined by Matt, and yeah, we'll be chatting about the game. But thank you so much for joining me. How are you doing today?
I'm all right. If you had asked me about 25 minutes ago how I'm going to be, I wasn't too sure with that game. But now I'm feeling good. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you're all good. And yeah, that game, like I don't going into the game, I didn't know how to expect it to go, but I didn't expect that. But before we talk about it, I wanted to get your thoughts on the lineup because there were so many changes. I think it was a little bit more, weaker. We made a lot more changes, and obviously Tierney came back, which was a big surprise. Obviously, really happy to see him play, and he did really well. But what did you make of the lineup? Were you surprised by some of his decisions?
I was a bit disappointed in seeing Partey at right back. I feel like as the season's gone on, I'm like, that experiment just needs to stop. I'm tired of it. Um, Kivio was all right. Timber. Tierney was, I was so shocked. When I saw it, I was like, oh, wow, he's still here. But he performed very, very well. And seeing that, I went, you know what, with the two left backs out and Tomiyasu, wherever he is nowadays, I feel like that could possibly work. But, I think it was a good lineup. Jesus, Sterling, and who was the other one? Trossard. That's an all right front three for a cup. If you're looking to rotate your team for these cup games, that is kind of an all right three. So I feel like he did all right with it. It's just Partey right back was the only one I was a
Yeah.
bit funny about.
Yeah, I think like a lot of us sort of knew going to this game that we wouldn't really see that strong lineup with,
Mm.
Odegaard, Gabriel, Saliba, and I think we sort of knew that these players would get a rest. And obviously, we
Mm.
played Crystal Palace again, so they'll
Yeah.
probably play it for that game. So I was okay with us making like a lot of changes.
Mm.
Obviously, Jesus started, and it's an interesting one really because I think going to this game, a lot of fans are a bit tired of sort of his performances and not really being this good. And
Mm.
today, I'm speechless. I'm not gonna lie. Like, did you ever expect him to score 3 goals today?
Definitely not. Definitely not. There's no way. No one did. I don't think. You know what I mean? I feel like with Jesus, it's you want to see him show some of the form that he first showed when he first come. He hadn't scored at the Emirates, was it since 2023? Am I correct in
Yeah,
thinking
it's been a while.
something crazy like that? So it was good to see him score. One was offside, I do feel, but listen, they all count, and we're into the semi-finals. That is the main thing.
Yeah, it feels so amazing to be in that
Mm.
semi final because when we were like 1-0 down that mistake, I was thinking to myself, like, can you imagine if we lose this game? Things are just gonna
Oh,
turn ugly.
mm.
And I was
Yeah.
I was really worried at that point because it was a very different half. Like the second half for me was so much different.
Mm.
What do you think changed? Do you think Odegaard coming in helped? Do you think it was that, or do you think Arteta maybe told them that it wasn't good enough the first half?
I think it was a mixture of both. I feel like when Odegaard's on the pitch, naturally the players do raise their level a bit. And I feel he's the one that kind of gives us that kind of killer pass. But I do feel at the same time, Arteta did have a word with them because you saw they instantly change as soon as they come up for
Yeah.
the second half. And it was good to see because, like you, I'm sure, like all Arsenal fans, I want a cup. I said I've been saying on my
Yeah.
video, want a trophy, and we're always giving up these trophies, and then we don't win anything at the end. It would be nice to just get our hands onto something. So being in a semi-final, it just feels surreal. I know it's a Carabao,
Yeah.
but it still feels good. You know what I mean?
I think as well, like we sort of know that we struggled with silverware, and these cups, we know they're not the biggest trophies, but I
Mm,
think if we win it at the end of the season, it's all about who's won, the trophies. And
that's right.
I think this is a very winnable sort of cup for us
Mm,
because obviously we've had a bit of luck, getting Palace, and
yeah,
they weren't easy, but it could have been a lot worse. So
yeah.
I think this would be a great chance for Arteta. But for
Mm,
you, like in recent seasons,
mm.
do you feel like we've taken these competitions seriously, or do you think we've just not had the squad depth to really go all the way to the final?
I think we've had the squads. I feel like Arteta just hasn't taken them serious.
Mm.
Like the most recent one I can remember was I think was Sporting Lisbon. when he rotated the team and we played them at home, and he kind of thought, oh, we'll get through that. We didn't. We lost.
Yeah.
And then, I think Carabao, was it him? Was it him when we had Brighton? It might have been Arteta, I think, when they knocked us out as well. So I feel like we just need a decent cup run. And I feel like now's the time where I think he's looked at it and gone, the league's going how it's going. This is it. Like, we've got a squad now. You know what I mean? All right. They're not playing the best. Sterling missed a sitter. He won't do that all the time. But I do feel like going forward, he understands cups are just as important because it builds momentum. If we're going to win this trophy now, and I think that cup final's played in February, it's such a great momentum shifter to take you towards the end of the season to May.
Yeah, I mean, as well, I just knew Nketiah was going to score.
You saw my tweet, right? When I said, don't do it, Eddie. And then I was like, no.
I know, I put something out. I just knew that he was going to score. It just was going to happen.
It's only us, though, isn't it? It's only Arsenal that do that, where the old player comes and always haunts us. Always.
It's always like players that have moved on. They always score against us. But I'm not surprised because I suppose he wants to sort of prove a point that. But I don't blame him, and it was good to sort of see him get minutes as well. The performance wasn't scintillating, but we got the job done. Yeah, I mean, the performance was an interesting one. Like we said, the second half was much better, and I felt like we looked so much more exciting to watch in our attack. But as we said at the end, it was a bit hard to watch. Like we're hanging on a bit. But what did you make of the performance? Do you feel like it's been better than recent performances?
I feel like it's just one of them where I'm not thinking too much about it. It's just one of them ones. Second half, we picked it up, and I kind of expect that type of performance. No disrespect to Crystal Palace, but we're the better team. We are a better team than them. So I expect that. I expect more in the first half. But yeah, we picked up second half. And if you look at the last couple of games, Everton, they sat back a bit deeper, but we still had our chances. You know what I mean? Fulham as well, we had our chances. So sometimes with us, it's just we need that goal early to give us the confidence to go on. We saw it at West Ham, we saw it at Sporting, you know what I mean? And that's what it's football's fine margins. That's all it is, you know what I mean? And I feel like going forward, hopefully this is we can do it, guys. Go on a run now. Let's go. And just really, because we've got good fixtures coming up if you look at it, on paper.
Yeah, I think at the moment, I think we've just got to win all of our games, and if we win this competition, then that's going to be great. But I know the league's a bit of a tough one right now. I just wanted to read out this comment. Make sure to like and subscribe and share. Hope you both have a lovely Christmas. Thank you so
lovely.
much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Now. I hope you have a lovely Christmas too. I wanted to speak about Jesus again because obviously at the weekend we always see Havertz play up top, and I feel like Arteta might have a bit of a headache now. Who's he going to start? I mean, Jesus at the moment, right now, he seemed very hungry to score lots of goals, and he knows Palace well. He just played against them. Havertz at the moment is a little bit quiet and not doing as much. But for you, who would you start for this game at the weekend?
I would probably go Jesus, and I'm not even just based on this performance. I feel like Havertz works against certain teams when you're playing at home or you're playing away, and depending on the centre backs you're coming up against. But I look at Palace; they've got Guéhi and Lacroix, who are strong, physical people, and I feel like the way Jesus plays, the hustle and bustle, it will work for Saka and Martinelli. We saw that when we beat them. I think it was 2-0 when we started last season, the one before. So I feel like he makes a big difference in these type of games. So I would start him. And when a player scores a hat-trick, just play him in the next one. We're not going to make the same mistake that Tottenham made with Lucas Moura and Harry Kane,
Yeah. I think I would actually, because I think he seems right now to have a lot of confidence. I think when he scored that first goal in the game, you could see after that, he kept scoring more, and he just seemed like he was really enjoying the football he was playing. It's hard whether or not he would keep it up, if we do decide to keep him for this season, because I know there's sort of questions about maybe him moving on in January or. But I do hope he can keep it up. But do you think he could keep this sort of scoring up, or do you feel like he might struggle throughout the season?
I think he can keep it up. I don't think he's going to go on a scoring run, but I feel like he'll be pivotal in certain games. Like, you look at the fixtures, like the Ipswiches at home and the Southamptons away, like them type of games. And sometimes, again, if you're going to play, I don't know, when we get Chelsea at home or City at home, it might be a Havertz thing, But I feel like we need to be in a position where we're able to rotate. And if there's an opportunity to sign a striker in January, go for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't miss their chance. Don't base it because Jesus is doing well. But yeah, I like. Do you know what? I've always liked Jesus. It's just I wanted to see the original Jesus when he first came because I feel like he's lost a bit of that, that speed and aggressiveness, but he's still a good player. Not quality, just a good quality player. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think with Jesus, like I don't think we're going to expect him to, win us the league because I know that's not going to happen. But if he's able to help us with those goals when we need him, and it's a long season, obviously the title race is not looking great for us. But I think if we're able to get goals from him as well as other players, because I know, like you said, January is coming up and. For me, I'd love us to sign, if we can't sign a striker, just sign someone that could really help us with those goals, because that's something we struggle with. But I do hope we can keep it up because it's obviously great. Fingers crossed. Big up Thomas in, big up guys, good win against Crystal Palace in the Carabao Cup on my mum's birthday. Big up your mum, hope she has a great day as well. Fair play to Jesus for scoring hat-trick. Still Arteta out, it needs to go at the end of the season. Do you know what? It's very hard to have these conversations right now because I think for me, like, I know at the moment, things are good this game, obviously. I want us to win silverware. I think if we win silverware, then I can't really argue against Arteta because that is what we need. But how do you feel about Arteta? Because I feel like there's a lot of questions about him now, and I just feel like I'm a bit stuck in the middle about it, really.
Yeah, I'm kind of like you. I feel like we've gone two seasons. We didn't expect to do what we did in the first season. Last season was the one where we thought we would do it again. We failed. And this is the one where I'm hoping we haven't regressed. We've shown performances where I'm be like, are we going backwards? But I feel like for him, it's very important to get a trophy. Even if he doesn't win the league, let's say he finishes third, FA Cup win or final, and then a Carabao Cup. He's won a trophy, so he might get a bit of extra time from me. But then it's next season, it's all or nothing, literally. But he has to pick up silverware for me because if Arne Slot goes and wins the Premier League first season in, everyone's like, wait a second. Arteta had before, and you know what I mean? And then there's all the comparison. But I'll give him time because he's brought us to a place where we never expected to be where we are now. When we lost in first 3 games of that season, and it looked like you were really going to struggle, he took us to top 4. And then from there to second and then close to first again.
He has taken us a very long way, like you said. Like I never thought we would be challenging, straight after that season where we couldn't get top 4. So I think this season, like we said, silverware has to be like a must. Like you said, I think with the league, it can still happen, but I think if we're being honest, it's good to focus on these cup games like the FA Cup. Like I love an FA Cup. I mean, I know the Carabao Cup isn't everyone's cup of tea, but like we said, it's a trophy, and at the end of the season, if you want to count your trophies, you'll be happy with that. I hope we can win the FA Cup, but I think for the league, we've probably got to just sort of finish as high as we can. But Man City dropping off, we need to sort of make the most of that, really. But it's going to be interesting. And I wanted to speak about Sterling as well because I thought he had good moments in the game. I thought, he had a great free kick, a few good chances. We've not really seen a lot of him, really. And maybe Arteta hasn't seen enough from him in training to convince him that he can start. But do you feel like he's going to get any Premier League starts? I mean, we know Saka's our guy and he will always play. He's the best right now in that position. But do you see Arteta really starting him or giving him many minutes, like, as a starter?
I think due to the position we're in now, I don't think so. I feel like it's going to be the steady Saka, Martinelli, or Saka, Trossard. I think Sterling will come off the bench every now and then. I think it's just, at the end of the day, everyone wants this spectacular Raheem Sterling, but we're not going to get that. You know what I mean? He's come for me. He's looked at it like, I'm a London boy. He's probably got his business ventures in London. Everything's set for him. He's playing for a good club in Arsenal. Why would you want to go anywhere else? You know what I mean? Your high wage, you're still being paid. So, but he's still got the quality. We see it in glimpses, but I don't think he's going to start games because look at our team. It'll be Trossard, Jesus. He might even do switch Martinelli with whoever, but Sterling won't get the game time. I can't see it. Only in cup games with Nwaneri.
Yeah, I think with Sterling, like I think if we'd see him score a lot of goals and he wowed us,
Yeah.
I think there could be that argument. But I think for regarding minutes, obviously, I think he will come on when our attack brings him on for maybe 10-15 minutes. But
Mm.
I think Sterling just seems happy to be here.
Yeah,
Really,
yeah,
I mean, I did see something the other day, and obviously in January, he's going to stay here. I'm pretty sure he said
yeah.
to the end of the season, but I think he's just enjoying the vibe. He's
It's
just
true.
chilling.
It's true. Like you can see it because even when it comes on, it's like we all know it's not the Sterling of old. We're seeing a
Yeah,
bit of that speed, but the end product is just not there. We saw the miss today as well, and it's like, come on. Like I want to see him score. Like,
yeah,
but I want to see a good goal. Like today, the free kick as well. I was like, oh, if that had gone in, that would have been that moment where it's like, okay, cool, I've done it now. Because sometimes it's about getting the monkey off your back, getting the goal, and because he's not going to get a steady run of games, these are the games where he has to score and produce.
yeah. Because, like we said, we've seen him a lot in the cup games. Like those
Mm.
are the games that he will start in. And
Yeah.
I mean, I watched him like at the pressing game, or some of those games, and he's not done enough. Like I know he
Mm.
can be skillful at times, he can do good things, but it's not enough for him to start, especially
Mm.
over Saka. I mean, I don't think he was really come in to take over Saka's place, but
Mm.
I think he's probably just come in really to help us with goals. And we've not really. I think the lack of minutes has surprised me.
Yeah.
Um, I think with Sterling, like he's not the player he was like a few years ago, but I still think there's a good player in him. But I don't think he's gonna get like the amount of minutes that
Yeah, no,
he
definitely
wants
not.
really. Crystal Palace away, Ipswich at
Ooh.
home, Brentford away, Brighton away, Tottenham at home. How many
Ooh.
points? That is a tough one, really. I think
Ooh.
the Tottenham one is always an interesting one.
Yeah.
Like I could just never predict that, even though
Mm.
they've not been great. Things do change, but
Mm.
are you confident we could win all of these games, or do you expect we might have
Ooh.
a few bumps in the road?
I think I think if we beat Palace away this weekend, I think we can win every one of them games. Because I look at Ipswich and I think they always concede goals. They are all right going forward, but I think defensively you can score loads past them. I think Brentford, they're not as defensively solid as
Mm.
previously. They score goals. At home, they're a dangerous team. They score goals. But if they play that type of game, we can create chances against them, no problem. You know what I mean? Brighton, the same thing. I look at Brighton, I don't think they're that solid either. We saw Brighton lose to Palace as well at home the other day. I think we can beat them.
Yeah.
Like you said, Tottenham's the only one where you look at and you go,
Mm.
you just don't know. No matter what form you're in, you never know what will happen in
Do you know what?
November.
I know it's so tough, isn't it? I
Yeah,
mean, I know sort of recently it's hard to really. I mean, I think as a team, I think we're better. Our squad's probably
yeah,
better than theirs, but
mm,
with these games, you just never know what can happen.
mm,
But yeah, I think Brentford's another one that I think is a bit unpredictable because they've done really good at times and they've
yeah,
done really bad. So but I think, like you said, if we get that win at Crystal Palace, like even if it's not a great performance, if we're getting the result,
mm,
like you said, we could go on a really good run.
mm,
But I think if we're being honest, we do need to win all these games. We have dropped a lot of points sort of so far this season.
mm,
Um, but I don't know if you would. I think I can see maybe a draw in there possibly.
mm,
The Brighton one is an interesting one because we have drawn with them already this season.
yeah.
They're sort of a team that we just struggle with sometimes.
I know, but they do that to a lot of teams. I feel the only
Yeah.
thing with Brighton, though, you can get at them because they play that expansive style. They can't play any other way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it'll be.
Yeah.
I think these games coming up, I think it's sort of a few good games to have because I know there's going to be sort of tougher tests. The Anfield
Mm.
one, I'm just thinking
Oh,
about as well, and it's
I'm
going to
dreading
be.
it. I
I
said at the
know.
beginning
I
of the
just don't
season,
think we're going to
that's
win
the
at
one, isn't it?
Anfield.
That's the one you want to go to that game already with your big gap. You don't want to go there having to win.
Yeah.
No way. No way.
It needs. I think by then, like I don't know
Mm.
when we do play them, but I think
Mm.
it'd be good to be maybe at least 4 points or something. You
Yeah.
don't want to be like a 9 point gap.
Yeah, I'm telling you, honestly.
Yeah,
Oh
I
god.
think that game is the one that is going to be tough because Anfield we can never really win there. I mean, a
Yeah.
draw would probably be good for them and not for us, but
Yeah.
I think we just have to hope right now that Liverpool can drop points in those games. Big up
Big up.
Arsenal and Sampdoria. So good to see you doing this. We need to win something this season. I'm happy with Arteta, really. It is still his fifth year as a gaffer. Arne Slot is almost 10 years and his fourth club, and generally walked in settled clubs. I mean, it's a good point because I was thinking about this with Arne Slot. The team Liverpool have right now, it's a good team. I know they've not made signings recently, but it'd be an interesting point if Arne Slot had walked into Arsenal team when Wenger left.
Yeah.
How would he sort of do in that situation? But I still think he does deserve the credit because he's doing good. But I just don't know how he would really do in a team that's not too good.
I think what I'll give him, like you are right. He come into a team that had Van Dijk, Salah, who else I'm trying to think, Trent, them type of players. Whereas Arteta obviously came into, we know the dross that he had, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that was
players, but I feel like the only thing is obviously Arteta spent a lot of money and we're still not won anything yet. And naturally, you don't win anything, it starts to put a bit of pressure on him and the fans start to get on his back. So I do agree with you. Just we've got to give Arne Slot credit because when Klopp left, we were all like, yes, Liverpool going to struggle. I can't wait. Oh my gosh. And they're up there doing well.
I know.
So, you know
I was happy when Klopp left.
Yeah, same. I was buzzing. But credit to them, honestly.
Yeah, I think even if he does win the league, I think, it's a good team and Mo Salah's doing really good this season, but he's a good manager and he does deserve that credit. I think it will hurt as well because I think this season, we have slipped off a little bit with the league. Like, I think the injuries, if the injuries didn't happen, I think the momentum, the confidence would be there. But I think you can't, Man City, Rodri is shown that he's the most important player. I mean, I did think Haaland was the most important player, but I think now you really see that he's that player that he's like the glue that sticks to the team. Yeah.
I think with Rodri, I feel, you look at him, that's how important he is to them. And I feel like with us, I said on Twitter, if we have our starting 11, I don't see us losing more than 2 Premier League games going on because I feel like our starting 11 can beat a lot of teams. We showed that when we drew to City. We should have beaten them, even with 10 men. We played Liverpool. They didn't beat us. We played Chelsea. They didn't beat us. So it's one of them. We've been very unlucky with injuries. Obviously, some of the decisions as well. Brighton at home and, other games. So I think the only game I feel like we deserved to lose was Newcastle. That's the only one I looked at when I went, you know what? Hold my hands up, we were crap. You know what I mean? End of story.
Yeah, we weren't crying.
We were, you know what I mean? So I do feel we've been a bit unlucky. I just hope come January we get a bit of luck because it's been awful. Like, imagine all our left backs have been out. You know what I mean? So,
I think it's been hard as well because, like, I think Calafiori was just getting into his sort of game and he was doing well and it's happened. Odegaard as well. I mean, I still think if Odegaard was in the team, I think we would still struggle with our attack, but things would have been so much different and these things just can't be helped. And I think it's showing you now sort of how important these players are. And I think today you sort of realise as well a bit of a drop-off, like especially in the first half of the players that would start that haven't started, and we sort of missed the players that do start. And I think it was good that Arteta did know to bring on the likes of Odegaard because he really did change that game for me. But I wanted to speak about Kivior because obviously the game didn't start off great. You made a mistake. And do you feel like the criticism towards him is fair? Do you think it's harsh? I mean, I think he's going to be going in January, and we sort of know that he's not our starter. He's sort of the guy that steps in when we need him to help us. But do you feel like what people are saying about him is fair, or do you feel like it's a bit harsh on him?
I think it's fair because at the end of the day, the standards for us are high now. Like we're not that team that are just battling for Europa League. We're a team that we want to be challenging for the league. We want to do well in the Champions League. So the standards are higher. You look at, if we want to be the best teams, you've got to look at the better teams and try and emulate them. You look at Man City, when the defender gets injured, Ake comes in and covers. So we need able defenders to come in. Kivior, I watched him today and I was like, didn't like that at all. I feel like he's a player that shows that he's rusty because there's not really much rotation when Gabriel and Saliba are playing. And as a defender, it's hard when you don't really come in, and when you play a game, you're playing a physical battering ram like Mateta. That is difficult to deal with, you know what I mean? But yeah, I did expect a bit more from him. But he was always one of them signings where you never expected world class.
Yeah.
You know, signing from Spezia, and you kind of thought, okay, he might be a squad player. But I do feel now's the time to let him go, and then maybe bring in someone younger, hungrier, you know what I mean, and stronger.
Yeah, I think he's sort of that player that, I mean, some games he's amazing and other games he struggles. So I think he's just like inconsistent. But I think he's, like you said, there's a difference between good and great players. I definitely think he's a good player, but I think him going January would be the right thing. I think we have got a lot of defenders really, and we're sort of okay at the moment. I think the attack is where we need to make reinforcements and bring players in. But I think he's a good player, and I think today, you know, he made a mistake, and it does happen. But I think with him, we have seen sort of those similar mistakes. You know, not all the time. He's not always doing it, but yeah, I think we sort of did well after that not to concede, because I thought if it went 2-0 down, I was thinking like the mood would just.
That's it. Yeah. No, it's true. I feel like that's the thing with Arsenal. It's like I feel like as 1-0, we've got the quality to always bring it back. And as you said, Kiwior, after obviously we didn't let in a goal till the end when obviously Eddie come in and scored. But yeah, I just I feel like with Arsenal we have high standards now. That's it.
Yeah.
Really. We just want to see more. Whatever defender comes in, I want to see a good performance. Saliba come in, the defense looks so much different. But I don't want to have that defense where they always have to play. You want to be able to rotate your players because it's a long slog of a season, you know, the new Champions League format, the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, and obviously the Premier League. There's a lot of games, but we have to add more quality to the side. As you said, our attack is what causes the problem. Like we need a wing. If we had a winger and a striker, I would have no doubt we'd win every game. Like genuinely, because that is what is lacking big time.
Yeah, I think like you said, you want to be able to give Saliba a rest because I mean, there's been times I think when we first challenged for the league, he got injured, and then we would probably have won the league or had a better chance of like Tierney as well. So I think you want to sort of risk not risk them playing and give them a rest. But I think with our position we can't do that. I mean, Partey as well was a player that I did want him to get a rest because at the moment he's doing really well, and usually at this time he's injured. So I'm sort of like I don't want him to play too much unless it's like a game he has to play. I mean, I know every game's our must win, but in certain games you can afford to rotate him. But I sort of expected him to play it right back because Arteta usually does that. But yeah, I think it's a good thing to be able to rotate. Big up Jason. What are the odds of Eddie scoring on his return and Jesus getting a hat trick?
Well, we knew about Eddie scoring because we both put it on Twitter.
We knew that would happen.
But the hat trick, no way.
I'm shocked.
Yeah.
I'm still like I can't believe I feel like I'm dreaming. Like Jesus scored 3 goals.
I'm gonna have to watch it again. I'm gonna watch it again later and be like, oh my god.
And you know what? Those goals were very good as well. There was sort of like the sort of finishes Henri would sort of do, and I think with Jesus, if he did that more often, people wouldn't be having these conversations of why about his future. But I think his injuries have probably affected his confidence. But if he's able to do this in the Premier League, the Champions League, I think I'd be happy to have him for the season. But I just don't know if he's able to keep it up. But I do really hope he can. We will lose to Brentford. They are strong.
No, don't say that, Thomasin. Don't say that.
No, be positive.
Be confident. Come on now.
I think we can beat those teams that we have. It all depends on the game at the weekend, because if we had lost that, then I think we might go on a bad run or our confidence might be low. But if we win, like you said, then I think we've got a good chance. And I think, like you said, when we have our best 11, I have no doubt we can beat anyone in the league.
Exactly,
But when we don't, it's another story.
Do you know what I've realised? I feel like what's cost us really is Tomiyasu,
Yeah.
Because he was the one that, when we needed a left back, he could slot in. We needed a right back slot in. So when we lost Timber and White, or they were both injured, we had no one up there. So we had to put Partey, and on the left, then we had who did he put there? I think we put Timber in a few games as well at left back as well. Because,
Yeah, we've had to rotate a bit. Yeah, I really like Tomiyasu. I mean, I know recently I honestly thought he was back from injury.
Yeah,
I think he's gone. I don't know what's happened, but it's a shame as well because, like you said, I think the left back and right back are just those positions this season where we're rotating a lot. I mean, with the right back, I like Timber, but Ben White being injured, I think it's a bit tough because you sort of want to rotate sometimes because Tim has just come back from a big injury and he's done well to play as many minutes as he is. And Tomiyasu, like you said, him not being there, like it's just affected us a bit. But I think at the moment Timber does seem pretty good. But the left back one it can be a bit of a problem. I mean, Tierney did play today, and I was so happy to see him because we all love him and what he's done as well for the club is great. But I did not think he would be that good today. Like I was surprised. As well, he did come off. I'm pretty sure it might be fatigue. I'm hoping it wasn't. It's not
again.
Do you feel like he's got a chance now to fight for his place, or do you feel like he's just sort of an option that we're going to use because we've not really got a lot of options at that?
I feel because obviously we've got Zinchenko and Calafiori. I feel like if they're both kind of fit, Tierney's not really going to get a look in.
Yeah.
So I think Tierney's best chance is cups, and I feel like maybe in the cups they might try the whole Zinchenko in the LCM position and then Tierney left wing. You know, like play around like that. Because at the end of the day, listen, as much as we hate Zinchenko, whatever, he gives us a lot in terms of the passes straight into the attacking third. And Tierney's good for basically the overlapping. Like we missed that. So it's a tricky one. Calafiori's there now and Zinni. So yeah, I don't think Tierney really got looking. But I love Tierney. I love him from Celtic days. You know, we come in the winter wearing a t-shirt, no gloves. You know,
I love that.
You know what I mean?
Go back.
You know what I mean? But, no, he's a lovely player to have around. And I can imagine in the dressing room, he's good to have there. You know, no negative energy, no negative vibes. So I'd keep him in and around the squad for now. And then in the summer, I'll just say to him, where do you want to go? You know what I mean? Like, what do you want to do and offer him?
Yeah, I think as well, like, as much as I'd love him to, get a lot of game time or him to step in if we do it for the options, he does get injured a lot, and we've seen that throughout a few seasons. And I think it was interesting, like years ago when we would have these debates of Zinchenko, Tierney, and both of them are now injured, and I think both of them have that injury. They're very injured a lot, which is a bit frustrating. I mean, they can't help it, but I think Zinchenko, I think it depends what team we're playing, but I think he can do a job sort of every so often, when Calafiori is not here. But I do think the left back is looking a little bit weaker. But I think it's good that we brought Calafiori now. Like, if we hadn't, then I think we'd be in big trouble.
Yeah,
and you don't really want to rely on the youth players to have to come because it's a big responsibility. It's a lot of pressure. It's like Ranieri, we can't expect him to win us the league. He's only young, and it's a lot of pressure. So I think it's good now. Obviously, Tierney's back, hoping that he is, just got fatigue because he hasn't played for a very long time, and you're going to expect that. I think it was great that he could even play 17 minutes. So yeah, I'm really happy to see him back. But I wanted to thank you for coming on today. It's been great having you on. But before we do you want to just tell people a bit about your channel as well, where they can find you?
Yeah, no, thanks for having me on, Sophie. I really appreciate it. Listen, when you message us, yeah, I'm coming on. But yeah, no, listen, my name's Matt, Back of the Net Podcast. So yeah, I've got my YouTube going, Twitter, as I'm always posting up videos and stuff like that. And even now TikTok and Instagram, I'm on this real thing now. But it's hard. I'm not gonna lie, it's hard to manage them all. But yeah, see me on there. And yeah, so on Twitter, I've abbreviated it because BOT, and it's a bit long brand, Back of the Net Podcast all the time. But yeah,
it's a bit of a long,
it's a bit of a long one, I just put BOT on podcast. But yeah, you can catch me on there every day doing reels. Like I'm gonna do one after this as well. But yeah, thanks for the support and keep following. And listen, big up Sophie. And if you're not already, subscribe, like, comment, and all of that on our channel, man. Big up.
Oh, thank you so much. I do
Yeah.
appreciate it, and it's been great to have you on. I'm just happy that we've been chatting after a
Yeah.
win. Like I can't imagine if we'd lost, how we
I
would
think I
all
was
be.
dreading it at 3-2. I
I
went,
know,
yeah, I'm
me
not
too.
available. I'm not available.
I was thinking, oh, imagine having to talk about it if we lost. But
Yeah.
yeah, great that we've got the win. And
Yeah.
please do subscribe to his channel, check it out as well. Big up to all of you as well that have watched this, whether that's on Twitter, YouTube, it's appreciated. But please do like this video, guys. Please do subscribe here if you are new, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.